here, and ultimately we got to get training out past the short-term trip here.
Yeah.
So the question becomes man hours. Where do those man hours come from? If this guy's strapped with the traditional volunteer paradigm and follow up back there, this brother's strapped with helping on the ground logistics and networking to get people here and here, then where does this guy find the man hours to get training out here? I asked you this question about Peru to say his name was Alexis, right? Yeah. Is Alexis a LC logistics coordinator? Is he a networker, or is he a trainer? And you said he's a phenomenal trainer.
Yeah.
In which case, the logistics, and when we think about man hours, the logistics and the networking, he's got to build team to free up his calendar, or he's got to build team as he holds on to those pieces that can do training. Now, the thing that got me so excited was that there's a guy named Patrick O'Connor about to move down there. And so this red box that you included in the diagram, the coach, mentor, trainer, who could very well come alongside him with the same DNA training package you guys are rolling out at this point, and really mentor him, help him build team by training broadly, filtering down even out here, and to find those trainers and deploy them out here, and for that matter, leverage them all the way back here so that we're ultimately not just getting to addition out of the outreach event, the short-term trip, but we've got the potential. And as valuable as that short-term trip is in launching groups, the vast majority of your potential is still after the event, because they've been inspired at the short-term trip, they've been envisioned, they've seen a model of boldness of how to go out and do. Now the vast majority still remains after your volunteers go home. If you've got training and accountability mentoring, this is where your paradigm really blows out. And so when you showed me the little sheet of numbers in the pie chart, so that previously this was the majority of when training was hot 3-5 years ago, this was the majority of your numbers. Over the last 2 years as first steps, and I think you said Mike stepped out, Curtis stepped in, and there was some issues. Well, this became the majority of your numbers, this event. Well, okay, so you're doing this just fine. You're doing this well. How do we wake this up again? Because there's where your real potential is.
And wake that up with a mentoring, coaching, equipping,
I think
modeling.
If this brother is strapped and can't provide that kind of mentoring, and Alexis can't get it in his calendar, you got to figure out how to find the man hours.
And there's a little bit more now with the coaching of the U.S. network that we have that's starting to.
Yeah, right. So where do those, okay, so this is one field. You got 24 fields like this, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So really you need 10 of those guys almost immediately if they're going to handle 2 or 3 of these mentoring relationships. So, and that was something, now you're recording, I have to be careful again. I only know the history of it. But 1989, 1990, before Rankin came in, was this man named Parks, and we were institutional, we were volunteer driven, we were SBC volunteers, and our personnel are the plan. We were stuck to addition. Now, Parks flipped us over by starting this, the skunk works called CSI, Cooperative Services International. He put mentor trainers out in front of our personnel, and over the next decade, guys like Bill Smith, Bill Fudge, and Curtis Sargent, and Bruce Carlton, and fill in the blank, David Garrison, Keith Idle, who went back to seminary, and now they kind of disagree, you know. But it wasn't all pretty, but the fact is the best minds and thinkers in our organization came out of that skunk works. And at some point, CSI, and David Watson, another one, at some point, Rankin realized these guys are the majority, this is the direction we need to go, and the whole organization flipped over. And out of those guys in leadership, then the next wave came through Jeff Sundell and Steve Smith and Yin Kai. And can I put myself in that company? That's where we were a few generations downstream. But the potential to do something like this and inject, you got to be careful in this relationship, because this coordinator shouldn't feel abused and manipulated. There'll be some challenges, but you got to figure out the training man hours, because there's your potential, right?